Okay, so the book of Job then in the Bible. Now, for those of you that have read the book of Job, or indeed know anything about it, you'll know that Job really suffers in that book. I mean, he doesn't just suffer, he bloody suffers big time. But the thing that really struck me about it, and I didn't know this until I read it for myself, was the time scale of it all. It was bloody ridiculous. I mean, there's Job minding his own business one day, probably potting some begonias or something. I don't know what the hell he was doing. When suddenly one of his servants comes rushing over. Job, I got some really bad news for you. Why? What's happened? Somebody's stolen all your oxes and your asses. Your servants have been killed. I'm the only one who's escaped alive. Oh my God, no! How the hell did this happen? Well, I don't know. I mean, these people, they just came from nowhere, took us totally by surprise. Holy mother of God, no! Now, as you can imagine, Job's a little bit perturbed by this, but he's barely got time to think about it when another servant comes rushing up. Job, I got some really bad news for you. Yes, I know. Somebody's stolen all my oxes and my asses. My servants have been killed. Somebody's stolen your oxes and your asses? Yes, they've been... What, you weren't coming to tell me about this? No, I was coming to tell you about your sheep. Yeah, what about my bloody sheep? Don't tell me they've stolen my bloody sheep as well. No, they haven't stolen your sheep. Your sheep are on fire. It's like a bloody mutton barbecue over there. Yeah, what do you mean my sheep are on fire? How can my sheep be on fire? Well, this fire, it came from the sky and landed on the sheep and they all went up in flames. Holy mother of God Almighty, what the hell is going on? Now, as you can see, Job's starting to get a little bit really, worked up and irate about this. He doesn't understand what's going on. It seems a bit more than a coincidence. But he's barely got time to consider all this when another servant comes rushing up. Job, I got some really bad news for you. Yes, I know, my bloody sheep are on fire. My oxes and my asses have been stolen. My servants have been killed. Your sheep are on fire? Yes, What, you weren't coming to tell me about this? No, I was coming to tell you about your camels. What about my bloody camels? Well, they've been stolen. What do you mean my camels have been stolen? I've got 3,000 fucking camels. And what did they do? Airlift them out with a fucking UFO? I mean, didn't somebody notice something? Well, they might have done, but, well, they've all been slaughtered, all the servants, so I'm the only one who's escaped alive. Holy mother of God Almighty, what on earth is going on around here? Now, as you can see, Job is completely befuddled. He's confused. He doesn't know what the hell's happening. He's, what his life is falling down around his ears. But he's barely got time to consider all this when another servant comes running up. Job, I got some really bad news for you. Yes, I know. I'm ruined. I'm bloody ruined. I've got 10 kids to feed. Oh, in which case I might have some good news for you. What do you mean you might have some good news for me? Well, it's about your eldest son's house. My eldest son's house? I'm telling you I've got 10 kids to feed, and you're telling me something about my eldest son's house? What, it's made of fucking shortbread? No, what's happened is, all your kids were there, and the house collapsed and fell on them. They're all dead. Oh. Now, one of the first things I thought of myself, having read this book, was if anybody in the history of the entire world ever needed God's help, it was this fella. Now I thought, hang on a minute. Let's go back a couple of pages. Who caused all this shit anyway? Oh yeah, it was God. Well, bloody hell. Because basically it was God having a bet with the devil that he couldn't screw up Job's life and turn him to the dark side that caused all this. And this was such bad luck from Job's point of view because it only happened because God bumped into the devil one day. I mean, they literally just bumped into each other. I mean, I didn't even realise they frequented the same bloody places. But there they are, bumping into each other like a bloody polar bear bumping into a fucking penguin. I mean, they're opposite ends of the bloody world, And so they bump into each other, and God's sort of saying, oh, how you doing, Satan? Nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. How's things? How's it hanging? What you been up to? And Satan's there, well, I've been coming to and fro on the earth and walking up and down on it, and frankly, I'm bored out of my fucking mind. 17 mass murderers I've got down there. 17. Oh, congratulations. Fucking 17. 75,423 adulterers and bloody stick gatherers you sent me. Stick gatherers. People who gathered sticks on the wrong day of the fucking week. Yeah, there's no fun in torturing these people. Well, there is, but, it's ruining my reputation. This place is really going downhill. Honestly, I'm thinking of resigning. And God's kind of, now hang on, let's not be hasty here. Don't forget, without you, there's no me. Without me, there's no you. We are the opposite ends of the same stick. Without you, people can't measure how good I am. What you need is a challenge. You met my servant Job. So this is kind of how the introduction went. And not only did Job suffer all those things that I mentioned earlier, but he also suffered kind of bad health and warts and boils and all kinds of things all over his body in an ever-increasing attempt by the devil to turn Job to the dark side. However, and this is a pretty big however. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite that big, but one of the things I noticed about this book very quickly is that the writers had obviously painted themselves into a bit of a corner. I mean, how could you write a book with all this kind of shit in it and not give it a happy ending? You have to give it a happy ending, because the last thing you want is people to read it, and go, well, knackers to this religion, I'm going back to paganism. If this is what happens to righteous people, I don't want anything to do with it. So they realize, yes, we have to give it a happy ending. Well, what can we do? The only thing we can do is give Job everything back that he started with. Oh shit, we killed his kids in the first chapter. What the hell are we going to do about that? Because you can't give him back all his kids. You can't resurrect 10 kids. That's too much. People are not going to buy it. So what they end up doing, in a real crass attempt to curry favour with the reader, is they give Job 10 new kids. 10 brand new, shiny new kids on the block, like it's like replacing a fucking light bulb. Not only do they give him 10 new kids, but they give him exactly the same kids in terms of, 7, I think it was 7 sons, 3 daughters, exactly the same as before. Obviously, they get born by the natural method, they don't supernaturally do it. But, they do this as kind of, that ties it all up in a nice, neat bow, and that's the happy ending. Now, going back to a bit earlier on, just after all the crap had happened to Job, Job goes into a kind of a 7-day sort of quiet phase where he doesn't really talk to anybody. And then suddenly he starts having these deep and meaningful conversations with his friends and with God. They all kind of join in. And this goes on for page after page after bloody page. And I'm reading this and I'm going, oh, it's an interesting analogy. Yeah, I like that one. Oh, there's another one there. So that's a very good analogy, that one. And then, another paragraph further down, there's another one there. Oh, and that's a good metaphor. Oh, and that's a good piece of philosophy. And then I go, just hang on a minute. Nobody talks like fucking this. This is a script. This is clearly scripted. It's like bloody Shakespeare. If ever you want to prove that the Bible is nonsense, read the book of Job. It's a bloody script. It's not how people really talk. Me, I'd be bloody suicidal for weeks, for months. Then here is Job gets to suicide. He reaches into a kitchen drawer, pulls out a knife, and shaves his friggin' head. Oh well, new start, new look. Ever the optimist. So there you go. That's the book of Job in a nutshell. In a very nutty nutshell. And if you haven't read it, I recommend you do. You'll find it quite entertaining. In the meantime, I hope you found this video mildly entertaining, and I'll see you again soon.